This is Troy Liburd, and I will be with you here tonight for 2 hours of uninterrupted talk radio. Feels so good being here on the Mark. And let me tell you that this is our last edition of On the Mark for 2023. So let's make it a good one. Quite a lot happening in the Federation. You know, I can't believe we are already at the end of the year. The Christmas spirit is all around us. Even here in the studios of Van Radio, I can see the Christmas cheers all around. You know, 2023 has been a good year, and so we want to give God thanks for bringing us through the year 2023. You know, I still can't believe that we are at the end of the year. I remember just the other day, it was January. Felt like 2-3 months ago that it was January. I mean, when you're keeping busy, when you're doing a lot of things, time flies. And, you know, we have come through yet another year, and we are on the cusp of going into a new year. I want to welcome all of you who have tuned into On the Mark. I know that there's quite a lot happening here in the Federation and quite a lot happening all over the world. So I value the fact that those of you who are tuned in, that you are here. We really, really value your support. This show is only what it is. We are only number one because of all of you who choose to tune in every Wednesday night when the dial hits 8 p.m. So we're so happy to have you here with us tonight. Of course, there's a lot happening, and we will be delving into the pulse of the nation as we continue with this show tonight. Of course, at the top of the show, I always want to welcome in all of our listeners and viewers from the four corners of the earth, wherever you are. I know we have people tuning into On the Mark from all across the world. We have people in the Far East, in Taiwan and so on. I think it's probably morning over there now, and I'm so happy that you have decided to join us for On the Mark. Of course, in North America, in the Northern Caribbean, closer afield here in the Eastern Caribbean, and of course as far south as Guyana. And of course, I want to send a big shout out to all of our good friends there in Guyana, and I want to let you know that our thoughts and prayers are with the Guyanese people at this time. Certainly there's a lot happening. As we go on with the show, we might probably talk a bit about some of those regional happenings. Of course, the Honorable Mark Brantley, the show's regular host, he could not be here with us this evening. Of course, we all know that we had the delivery of the Federation's budget today over on the island of St. Kitts, the federal budget, and the Honorable Mark Brantley, who serves as the Premier in the Nevis Island Administration and the leader of the Concerned Citizen Movement. He also serves as the leader of His Majesty's Loyal Opposition. So of course, you know that Premier Brantley will be the first up, I think, to speak tomorrow, and so he has to prepare himself for that after quite a lengthy budget today. I think we set a record today. That budget would have gone on for probably just around 5 hours, a bit over 5 hours. So the leader could not be here with us this evening. I know that he would have wanted to be here to speak to all of you, but nonetheless, we're going to have a good time here on the Mark. Of course, as I said, this is our final show for the year. So, you know, I'm hopeful that all of our callers would want to, I would want to give, you know, all of you the opportunity, if you so desire, to call in and send out your Christmas greetings or New Year's greetings, or to just talk about, you know, and thank whomever you would want to thank for all of the good things that happened in 2023. Of course, we would want to provide an avenue here for you to do just that. At the top of the show, we often, you know, like to send out our condolences to those families who have suffered loss. I have quite a list here of persons who would have passed in recent times, and so I want to send out my condolences and our condolences from here at On The Mark to all of those families who are suffering loss at this time. And first up, I want to send out our sincere condolences to the family of Mr. Albert Llewellyn Claxton, and he is better known around Nevis and certainly around the Gingerland area. He's from the Clegot area, and he's better known as Charlo. Okay, and Charlo would have passed sometime in last week, and of course sometimes it's only when there's a formal, something formal happening that you get to know people's full name, because I have certainly known Charlo for as long as I've known myself, and it's only today that I'm learning that his correct name is Albert Llewellyn Claxton, or Charlo. Charlo is a very fun guy to be around. Spent a lot of time around him, and so we certainly mourn the loss of Charlo. Is a significant loss to all of his family and really, really close friends. I know Charlo had a lot of close friends, and so I want to send out our condolences to the family and friends of Mr. Albert Claxton, also known as Charlo. And I want to say, for those who would want to be going to the funeral services for Charlo will be tomorrow. So you can certainly get the information as to exactly where the funeral will be, but the funeral for Charlo will be tomorrow. I also want to send out condolences to the family of Mr. Zephaniah Liburd, also known as Rowan Liburd. I think I've always known him as Rowan Liburd. I want to send out condolences certainly to the entire family, of course to Carl, who is my really, really good friend. Carl is his son. Condolences to all of you, and I think Naya also. So condolences certainly from me and from all of us here at On The Mark, Mr. Zephaniah Rowan Liburd. And as a youngster growing up, my dad would tell me, these are your family and these are your family, and Rowan is somebody who he said, that is your family. So certainly a big loss to us here in Nevis. Rowan, I am told, is one of those guys who was good at making boats and so on long time ago. So certainly a big loss for us here on Nevis. So my condolences, sincere condolences to the entire family of Mr. Zephaniah Rowan Liburd. I also want to send out condolences to the family of Enid Manners, and Enid Manners would have lived right there in the Morning Star area on the main road. Also, again, somebody who I know very, very well. I know the family very, very well. Lynetta, of course, we would all know Lynetta from Lynn's Deli, and Miss Manners, Enid Manners, we would also know her from Lynn's Deli because she spent a lot of time working at Lynn's Deli, for those who would have frequented Lynn's Deli. So I want to send out condolences, of course, to the entire family, Carl and Franchett, who and I get along very, very well. And Franchett, of course, I consider as family because he's married to my very, very close family. You see, here in Nevis, we are a very tight-knit society. All around Nevis, people have ties with each other. So when one person has suffered loss, it is a loss for a whole lot of us. So certainly my condolences to the family of Miss Manners. I also want to send out condolences to the family of Mr. Stedroy Sturge, young Stedroy Sturge, who would have lost his life recently. I think this past 2 Saturdays ago, I think, in a tragic accident on the bypass road. I remember being at the finals of the primary school football championships here on Nevis when I got the message about an accident happening at the bypass road. And when I got the information as to who was involved in the accident, my heart sank immediately, because again, this is somebody who I know very well, and the family, I know the family very, very well. Of course, his older sister would have been my classmate and is a dear friend of mine. His other sister, Vincy, well, I should have mentioned Melanie by name, my classmate, and so on. And Vincy, also a very, very good friend of mine, close friend. I consider her sister. And the rest of the family, Vaughn and all of those guys, and the mom, Iona, all very, very, very nice people, and people who I have a connection with. And so I certainly, when I heard that news, it kind of sank my night for the rest of the night. We were there for a big event, something that should have been, a good event, but that just changed the whole mood of the event for me. And so I want to send out my condolences to the entire Sturge family. And of course, I know he had a daughter, so I want to send out condolences to his daughter and to the mother of the daughter, and all those who really, really felt that loss, all of his close family, all of his friends, and so on. It's never an easy thing to lose a loved one. It's even more difficult to lose somebody that's young in such a tragic circumstance, when you weren't expecting something like that. When something is sprung on you, it's all the more difficult. And so I want to really, really send out condolences and say my heart goes out to the entire Sturge family and all of the friends and all of the those who really cared about young Stedroy. I want to take the opportunity also to encourage our motorists to drive with due care and attention when using our roads, to exercise best practices when using the roads. Don't be in a hurry. Nevis is small, very small place. We don't have a lot of main roads, so anywhere you need to go on Nevis, you can get there in a very short time. So I want to encourage our motorists to use the road with care. And when using the road, think about the other people who are using the road, be it other motorists or pedestrian or anybody using the road. Please drive with them in your mind. Also, I want to send out condolences to the family of Dion Bergen from Panhill. Again, another person who I know. I've always known Dion since I've known myself. Of course, for the earlier part of my life, I lived in Panhill, and Dion also grew up in Panhill. He's a few years older than me. His brother Marius and I are the same age, so our families would have been very close. They lived about maybe 200 feet from where I lived, so certainly it was just a little 1 minute or 2 minute walk away. In those days when we were young, we would run, because when you're young you're full of energy. So it was just the neighbor across the road, And so I want to send out condolences to his mother Veronica, and to his brothers, who all of them I know very well, all of them I get on very well with, and to also his sister, and of course he also has young children, so I want to send out my condolences to them. He of course would have passed away in very, very tragic circumstances. He would have worked at the Port Authority for many years. Certainly, I like to do a little exercising now and again. Sometimes I run long point. I'm not so consistent as I should be, but one of the things is when I'm doing the run and I get down to the port, Dion is often one of those persons who's at the port there early in the morning, so I would see him now and again. And I remember the last time I actually saw him, I think it would have been sometime early up in last week. We met right there on Beach Road, by just outside of Costmiller's shop, and we exchanged a little talk for about a minute. I mean, had I known that that would have been the last time I would have seen him or had an opportunity to converse with him, perhaps we would have had a longer conversation. But we never know, what twists and turns life has in store for us. And so I want to again send our sincere condolences to the family of Dion Bergen, and of course all those who are suffering loss at this time. It's never an easy thing to lose a loved one, and so as a community and as an island, we really have to rally around those who are suffering loss. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to On the Mark. It's never an easy thing to do condolences and so on, especially when it's people who you know and people who you are very close to. But life, as we know, is a winding road. Life goes up and life goes down, and we continue to press on as best we can when things such as those happen. Sometimes we like to send out greetings, because where there are lows, we also have highs. So we have persons who are celebrating, whether it's birthday, anniversaries, whatever the occasion, we like to celebrate with you. And I want to send out birthday greetings to my nephew, Tijan, young man. He's a young adult now, and he's celebrating today. And so I want to send out my special birthday greetings out to him, certainly, and to anybody else who is celebrating today. As I said, today is the 13th of December. I think yesterday, the 12th of December, marks 1 year since we had Nevis Island elections here on the island of Nevis. Of course, those elections would have returned the Concerned Citizens Movement to government here on the island of Nevis. And I, as the chairman of the Concerned Citizens Movement Party, I want to express my sincere gratitude to the electorate here on the island of Nevis for returning the Concerned Citizens Movement Party to government here on the island of Nevis. Elections are things that have serious consequences, and all of us here on Nevis would have seen the saga that has been playing out, that continues to play out, that played out with regards to the opposition party here on Nevis, the NRP party. And I know many people have met me, since this whole saga has come out into the public, and have said, it's a good thing that the people of Nevis have stuck with the Concerned Citizens Movement. And so I think all of our candidates yesterday, they have put out messages and so on Facebook, to thank the people. You know, we can't thank the people of Nevis enough, because it's very important that we maintain a government here on the island of Nevis that is working for the people, working for everybody, and working to build Nevis in a manner that is sustainable, in a manner that is in the best interest of all of us who are here today, but not just in our own best interest, but also in the best interest of the generations who are to come, of the young people who are in school, who are growing up to become the adults of tomorrow, and for those persons who are to come in the not too distant future. We have to ensure that the way that we run government today, that we do it in such a way that those who are coming after us, that they will be able to enjoy the same standard of living or an even higher standard of living than what we are enjoying today. And these are the things that we have to govern with in mind. We have to ensure that we are doing things that are in the best interest of the island, not just for today, but for tomorrow also. You see, a lot of people look at government, and they look at the choices and the decisions that are convenient for now. A lot of people, they come out and they want to cheer at certain decisions that governments would make, and they say, well, why government does not do this, or why government does not do that? Why doesn't government spend on certain things? We have to ensure that we are being fiscally prudent. We have to ensure that we are not racking up debt at an alarming rate, at rates that, for instance, we saw debt being racked up here in Nevis between the years 2006 to 2012, the end of 2012, at a really alarming rate. As a matter of fact, way more significantly than debt had ever been racked up in Nevis before that, and certainly way more significantly than we have now incurred debt while the Concerned Citizens Movement has been in government. And so our decisions about the people that we put in government are very, very important decisions, ladies and gentlemen. And so, you know, just today we saw the reading of the budget for the federal government. This, of course, was done by the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance federally, Dr. the Honorable Terence Drew, and I must say that it was a marathon of a budget. I mean, in contrast, of course, to the budget that was delivered a week ago over here on Nevis for the Nevis Island administration by the Premier and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Mark Brantley. I think his budget would have been delivered in just maybe about 2 hours and 20 minutes or so. And certainly, I think today, Dr. Drew would have set some sort of record. And of course, both budgets, you know, set out what both governments, of course, would be planning to do over the coming year, 2024. Of course, the budget set out by the Premier last week is specifically related to Nevis, while the budget set out today federally is more so a budget for St. Kitts. But of course, there were certain things in that budget that would extend to Nevis. One of the big things coming out of the Nevis Island administration budget, of course, last week, was the fact that our civil servants and public servants here on Nevis would, of course, be enjoying the final tranche of what will amount to be a 15% salary increase over the past 3 years. So come next month, our civil servants and public servants here on the island of Nevis will be the recipients of an additional 5% increase in salaries. And of course, that is not, any minor thing. That is a very significant thing, because 5% coming on the back of 5% this year, 2023, and 5% last year, 2022, that's a 15% increase overall. And we have to, when we speak about these increases, we also need to speak about the fact that in 2013, 2014, and 2015, the public servants on Nevis and in the Federation as a whole would have received a 10% increase in salary. At that time, the 10% increase in salary came as 4% in 2013, 3% in 2014, and 3% in 2015, for a total aggregate of 10% at that time. So we had 10% back in the years 2013 to 2015, and then we have now added an additional 15% for a grand total of 25%. So public servants on the island, as civil servants and other government workers, have been the beneficiary of a whopping 25% increase in salary. That's 25% over 10 years, and that is significant. I don't think that there's anywhere else in the Caribbean, certainly, where public servants have enjoyed a 25% increase in salary over a 10-year period. That's you getting an additional quarter of salaries. Now, of course, on St. Kitts, there have also been some increases in salaries. They got the 10%, and then there was another 10%. And of course, today, during the budget, we would have heard the Prime Minister speak about an additional 8% increase in salary that should be coming to workers for the federal government come this January. And of course, I know that some persons in Nevis have been saying, well, St. Kitts is getting an 8% and Nevis is getting a 5%. But of course, we would have done the budget here on Nevis prior to the budget in St. Kitts happening. And I must say that we did not have any prior consultation on it. And so therefore, of course, these are matters that we are going to look into, see all of the intricacies, to see exactly what is going into it. What I can say though, based on the presentation that the Prime Minister made today, the government over on St. Kitts, the federal government, is introducing, or they are going to action, a law that was passed back in 2011. They are going to bring that law into force next year that will take care of a pension for all government auxiliary workers and so on, and also all civil servants who came into the service as of 2012. They would have, I think the Prime Minister would have said that the whatever is supposed to be done with the law would be retroactive back to 2012. Now, one of the things about this law is that it calls for a contributory pension scheme. So it means that a 3% from the actual salary would be contributed to the thing, back to the to paying for the salaries. Ladies and gentlemen, I've spoken for just about a half an hour, and of course this is a call-in show, so I want to give our callers the opportunity to come in. When the lines are open, the numbers to call will be 869-469-1616 or 869-469-1700. Let's go to the line and see if we have our first caller for tonight.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, caller. You are on the mark, and I think I recognize this voice.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, this voice is actually on the mark.
I just want to thank you, Troy, for hosting the show tonight. It is our final show for the year, and I regret very much that I couldn't be there. But I know that the show is in capable hands with you, and I want to thank you for that. As the public knows, that we are engrossed now in the budget debate at the federal level, and as leader of the opposition, I have certain responsibility. In fact, I am in the midst of my preparations because the Prime Minister spoke today for 5 hours and 29 minutes, and therefore I have an equal time tomorrow. I will not promise that I could manage 5 hours and 29 minutes, but certainly it means that we have quite a lot to respond to. I realize that you have gone through some detail in terms of what the Prime Minister would have said today. I don't want to repeat that. In fact, the purpose of my call, Troy, is really to thank all the listeners, callers, and those who have made On the Mark their home on a Wednesday from 8 to 10, to say to them that I truly appreciate their support over the past decade and a half that this show has existed. I'm happy that they have stayed with us and continue to listen. It means that we still have something of relevance to people, and I'm truly grateful for that. I want to take the opportunity to thank you, thank Eric Evelyn, as the two people who normally would host the show in my absence, and to thank all of those at Bond Radio, Weber Herbert, and the team who make the show possible. I want to take the opportunity to express my profound gratitude to my constituents in St. John's, who have loved me from day one, and we have, as I like to think, a mutual love affair, because I'll do anything for my constituents. They have always been there for me, and I pledge to always be there for them. I want to thank the wider constituency of number 9, which includes St. Paul's as well, because they are the reason that I am in the Parliament here in St. Kitts, and I want to thank them all for their support, their love, their commitment over all these years. It is Christmas time, and it is the time of year when we try our very best to do what Christmas is about, which is to give more of ourselves. And giving, Troy, is not just about material things. Giving could be your time. It could be spending a bit of time with somebody who's less fortunate, somebody who's lonely. I think it sometimes is confused with receiving, and so everybody's asking for a gift. But I think Christmas is really about giving, and to see what we can do for each other. I'm asking our people in Nevis and the wider Federation to look out for each other, to be there for each other. When you cook a little something on Christmas Day, remember your neighbor who may not be as fortunate as you. And I certainly hope that our people have a wonderful, peaceful, and happy Christmas season. The Prime Minister has announced a few things today which I think will allow some people to have a better Christmas. I'm particularly grateful that the announcements will extend as well to the island of Nevis. These are all, if you will, benefits of the Citizenship by Investment Program, and part of this fair share that we've been talking about for so long. I'm hopeful that this relationship, this St. Kitts and Nevis relationship, continues, and that we can continue to live as one people. We have our differences, to be sure, but there is more that unites us than divides us. So I'm optimistic, Troy, that as we go into Christmas and into the new year, that our people will have a wonderful time, and that they will understand that as a government, we continue to do our very best to provide for our people, to ensure that those who need the support get it, and that we create an environment in the island of Nevis and in the wider Federation where our people can thrive, and our people can prosper, and our people can be happy. I look forward to 2024. I think that we have a lot of great things in store, and I certainly look forward to continuing my relationship with the people of Nevis, and more specifically with the good people of St. John's, the good people of St. Paul, who remain my constituents and have been my constituents now for all of these many years that I've been in politics. So my last word, Merry Christmas to all. Happy New Year when it comes. And I pray and hope that God will bless you, keep you, and may his face continue to shine upon all of us. And may he have mercy upon us all as we go forward into the season and into the new year. Again, thank you, Troy. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being there for us tonight. because we have duties elsewhere. And we look forward certainly to continuing into the new year with this show On the Mark, engaging with our people and sharing ideas with them and hearing, of course, their views and opinions on matters impacting them. So, thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much, Mark. And of course, we want to wish you all the best tomorrow. I'm looking out for you to get close to that 5-hour mark tomorrow.
Well, I can tell you now that you'll be disappointed because I don't see that there's any need whatsoever to go for 5 hours. I was very surprised. In fact, I don't know whether those who are students of the Parliament will be able to say whether in the modern history of Nevis, of St. Kitts and Nevis, there's ever been a speech for 5.5 hours.
Has to be a record.
I myself don't think so. That must be a new record.
Definitely.
But certainly I hope to cover the salient points. I have been preparing for some days now because, as I always say, when you're in a position, you must know what the issues are and must be in a position to speak to them even at a moment's notice. And that comes from being informed, staying in touch and understanding what it is that's afoot. So I hope to be able to respond tomorrow, and I hope to be able to bring at least some perspective to what we've heard and to make, as I always try to do, some recommendations and suggestions as to how we can do what we do better in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to On the Mark, and of course, that was Mark Brantley himself, the show's host, calling in, of course, to, thank his constituents for the support over the years, and of course to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. While we're on the Christmas spirit, of course, this evening they're having Christmas in the square in town. We have the Christmas tree lighting. The main Christmas tree in town is going to be lit in the square, and I am told that town is awash with people. So somebody told me don't expect to get too many calls because everybody is in town for the Christmas tree lighting in town. But nonetheless, we are here on the Mark, and we are talking about important issues in the Federation, all of the things happening in the Federation, and we're giving people an opportunity to call in and hear their views. And of course, those of you who would want to call in and wish Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, even just to thank somebody or to express how 2023 was for you. The lines are now open, and the numbers to call are 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700. We have a caller on the line. Let's go back to the line. Caller, you're on the mark. Good night.
Troy, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
This is Carlton.
How are you doing, my brother?
I feel very good.
Good. I hope you were able to get that that bread and cheese from the Artisan Village the other day. I saw you on the live stream.
Troy, I enjoy every bit of it. I felt like I was a division.
Well, I mean, Mr. DuPont, you are a division. We claim you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
So, Troy, I want to thank Mark Brantley for the tremendous job he was able to do throughout the last year. Thank him for being so professional in working along with the Prime Minister, Dr. Ju. Because, you see, in politics, I tried my best over 40 years to teach our people that we can have differences of opinion, but we must learn to deal with the country above ourselves. And to my mind, one of the main reasons why I continue to have Mark Brantley high, in the highest of all the levels that you can go in politics, I still rate Mark Brantley as one of the best. You know what someone told me today? Mr. DuPont, I came to you sincerely to apologize to you and Mark. But that particular person, I don't know if that person will be willing to go to Mark and say the same words that was said to me today. I was blaming you, Mr. DuPont, and Mark Brantley for mashing up the unity setup. But I did not know it wasn't you and Mark. And she told me who it was. But I prefer, if God spare my life, to talk about that in the new year, not now. Today, I was very busy in the store. A matter of fact, I had to turn down a lot of jobs in order to get a chance to listen to some of the Prime Minister, because I thought, even in spite of the fact that many would not agree with most of the things he said, or some of the things he would have mentioned, I thought his speech, from what I heard, was extremely good. And I want to congratulate him for a speech well done. One of the things that I notice about that speech, Troy, is that on many occasions, this Prime Minister made reference between St. Kitts and Nevis, mentioning how small we are, the amount of people we have. Why should we live in this unity? I was thrilled. And I want to ask the people in St. Kitts and Nevis, whether you like Dr. Jew or not, whether you like the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party or not, the Labour Party is in the government position now. And we must try our best to pray for them that they will make good decisions to benefit our country.
Well, they are the ones at the helm, you know, so they can make the decisions. That's
Troy,
that's just how it is.
Tonight, I'm here in my house, and I feel a thrill in my body. I believe, again, there is hope. Why do I say that? I have a document in my hand right now, in front of me. The name of it, Treaty of National Unity. That was signed, let me make sure I'm accurate, in Charlestown.
That's
I
the
was
Charlestown
there.
Accord.
On the 17th day of December 2014. I have both of them in my hand, thanks to Dwyer Stefan, who supplied these documents to me.
I also have copies.
Good. Now, Troy, in this document, which I wouldn't have time to read because many people I would like to get a chance, I see on the top that I wrote here on the top of every page I wrote, keeping the promise. Different colors, one people, fair share for all. I wonder, where was the fair share for all when Nevis needed geothermal, but could not get it when they were integral part in a government? I want people to understand me. There are many people in St. Kitts who say they love me, and now they hate me, but I want to show love to them. It was a fraud. It was signed, it was documented, but those who were at the helm and in charge, they were not serious about this thing. I read this document again this evening when I came home from work. It is amazing. And you know what I plan to do? Pay for radio time and read this document myself, as dumb as I am, and explain it to our people. This is a fraud, this document.
You know, Mr. DuPont,
go ahead.
I was right there on the 17th of December 2014.
Praise the Lord.
At the courthouse.
How you felt?
I felt good. I thought that, there was hope on the horizon. I thought that we were looking at a brand new St. Kitts and Nevis where we would be together in a way that we had never been together before. And it started out working kind of good. In the early days, things were happening. And then all of a sudden, a lot of things started to creep in. When it comes to this geothermal, right, what it seems used to happen is that in front of people's face, they were saying, well, we are supporting geothermal, but then behind the back they are saying to other people, international bodies and so on. This is something that we are learning now, because people internationally are only speaking now, that they were being told that we're not supporting the geothermal project on Nevis. So mixed signals were going out there. So we here in Nevis were going out and say, hey, we have this lovely project, and we are looking for financing, and we are looking for this, and we're looking for that. And those, at the level of the PM and so on, were saying, hey, we're not supporting this this project. And that is very, very regrettable. And here it is that there has been a change of government. We, the CCM, we do not sit inside this new federal construct now. But the Prime Minister could see, in his wisdom, he could see that geothermal, that if it comes, it will not just be good for Nevis, but it will be good for the entire federation. It will be energy that the entire federation can consume cheaply. It will be a secure source of energy. We are not going to be at the whims of the oil prices and so on. And, you know, I want to applaud Dr. Drew for being mature enough to see this. And, you know, some of the other politicians who were there before are older, but they did not have the level of maturity that a young Dr. Drew has to come in and see that. You know, sometimes the Bible say that a little child will lead them, or a younger person will lead them. Well, sometimes it takes a younger generation of leader or a younger generation of politician to come around to see that some of the old things that have divided us, some of the old divisiveness is not in anybody's interests. So I have some critique of Dr. Drew's budget today. I have some good critique. Some of the things that he said that I think are good. I mean, I've noted some of the things that I thought he would have missed. But overall, I think, you know, the intentions are good. And we have to judge people by their intentions. And I noticed when Dr. Drew spoke about the geothermal, that he was very passionate.
Thank you.
Very, very passionate about the geothermal. And you could see it coming out of him. You could see that he looked at it and he was saying, this is something that should not have been there languishing. This is something that could move the entire federation forward. Right now, as it is, Mr. DuPont, the Nevis Island administration is subsidizing the cost of fuel for providing electricity here at Nevis, and the federal government is subsidizing the fuel costs for the cost of electricity over on St. Kitts. These are costs that the governments would not have to carry if we are able to realize geothermal. Well, how is it that those who were there before did not realize that this was a win-win for everybody? But Dr. Drew could come in now and see that it is a win-win. And I could see the passion in the way how he spoke when he spoke about the geothermal. And so I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, of course.
I want to ask you a question that I wanted to ask Mark this evening, but I understand he's preparing. What do you think, though, my friend, of the comments that I've heard from a radio station in Nevis on 3 Saturdays ago, that one of the few things Nevis had, which is geothermal, we give it up to St. Kitts. I mean, why sensible people should think like that when St. Kitts and Nevis, being as small as we are, if we join together to do geothermal, we benefit more.
Mr. DuPont,
what are your thoughts on that?
I didn't hear the statement.
Okay.
But if it is that the statement is as you have said, then it is a nonsensical statement. Because, Mr. DuPont, the resource is located here on Nevis. Okay? So how could we take it up and give it to anybody? And I am aware that in the resolution that was passed in the House recently, there is nothing at all in the resolution that speaks to the resource being handed over to anybody. You know, the federal government, of course, is assisting in pushing the geothermal, and the energy from the geothermal will be utilized here on Nevis, and it will be utilized over on St. Kitts. And if it is that the people on Nevis should pay 12 cents, then it is my opinion. I mean, Mr. DuPont, don't get me wrong here. I am not involved really in the negotiations for it. But I'm giving you my opinion, and I'm giving my opinion to everybody who is listening and on the mark. It is my opinion that if the people in Nevis is going to be paying 12 cents for it, then the people in St. Kitts should pay the same 12 cents. We are one federation. The energy resource is there, it resides on Nevis, but it can be beneficial for all of the people of the federation. I say this in the same way that I talk about CBI when I talk about fair share or equitable share when it comes to CBI. I always say that when the CBI monies come in, the government receives the money. The government should say we have X expenses or Y expenses and we have these things to deal with. We take these things off at the top and we have $100 left and we share it equitably. So if the equitable split is a 75-25 split, or if it is a 70-30 split, then we split it and ensure that all of the people in the federation are benefiting in an equitable way from it. And that is all that we are saying. And fair share should not just be limited to CBI. Fair share should come when it involves everything. So if it's Nevis now who has a resource, and the resource is there, and the federal government can assist in developing the resource, and then everybody should benefit from the resource. I mean, if the energy is there, Nevis only uses a certain amount of energy. What we gonna do with the rest of the energy? Throw it away? We can't throw it away when our friends and brothers and sisters need it. So let's share the energy.
Share the energy. Good. I want to move on quickly to something else. When Timothy Harris was in charge of St. Kitts Nevis, St. Kitts and Nevis, in my opinion, was going like how Clive Lloyd used to captain the West Indies team in the 80s when I used to travel everywhere with the West Indies team. But the man himself, he is smart, he's intelligent, he knows how to get things done. But, no, Carlton, no. But I didn't realize he was that type of person. If I had only had any idea that Timothy was the type of person he is, I would never support him. Now, Timothy Harris in charge of this unity thing. And look, one of the things I'm going to read to the nation tonight. From which document? The Charlestown Accord. The Charlestown Accord. It says, Team Unity agrees and declares that the members of the CCM, the members of PAM, and the members of PLP will all be engaged in the governance process at the federal level to ensure a government model based on, 1, consultation rather than confrontation, 2, harmony rather than disharmony, 3, love and respect for all rather than vilification and strife. When Timothy Harris was Prime Minister of this country, he wanted people to look at him as a god. In my opinion, Dr. Jew is going down a different road, and that is why I am not a Labour supporter, but I am a supporter of St. Kitts Nevis. And if something is good, and we say it is good, God will bless us. You agree with me, Troy?
100%.
100%. Now, Dr. Jew has the right idea. What Dr. Jew has to guard against, and since I've never gotten a chance to speak to him personally, he will hear this speech. Dr. Jew, Carlton Dupont talking to you. You're in charge of this country. Listen to people, as you said today, and try hard to make decisions that will benefit our country. I love you, and I'll pray for you. Troy, don't go yet. A lady came to my store this afternoon doing some shopping, and I was trying to help her to manage her money. Because I grew up very poor, but I'm not poor now. It's the blessings of God have me where I am today. I want the young people in Nevis, which I love so much, to listen to me tonight on this matter. It is very important. A young lady came to the store today to shop. And when I realized how she's going, I could be her father 3 times. And I said, cool down. Watch your money. She said, you know, Mr. DuPont, you're right, you know. Because last year, I had a lot of money, but January morning, I woke up with nothing. Please, you all can go back to Dwyer Astafan's speech 2 weeks ago, where he say he's coming off the radio, taking a break till next year. And my loving brother Astafan warned the young people especially, when January morning come, make sure you enjoy yourself, have some money. Troy, I love the young people of Nevis. And I believe more people might be listening in Nevis than St. Kitts. Be careful, enjoy yourself for Christmas. Do not spend off all of your money. Troy, I had a lot more things to say. I want to give somebody a chance, but before I go, I want to read something from the Bible. Would you love me?
Yes, go ahead.
It is important. In the book of Job 34, verse 11, the Bible says, He will reward a man according to what he does and bring upon him the consequences of his ways. For a certainty, God does not act wickedly. The Almighty does not pervert justice. Next one. I want to go to Ecclesiastes 5, verse 10.
Mr. DuPont?
Yes?
I'm losing you.
You're
there?
losing me?
Oh, I could hardly hear you just now. Go ahead, I'm hearing you again.
Oh, I'm back?
Yes.
I want to read this verse for the young people. Don't allow money to fool you. Because the Bible says in Ecclesiastes 5, verse 10, a lover of silver will never be satisfied with silver, nor a lover of wealth with income. Excess money make it become insatiable to a man. He could never do without it. Live your life calm. Live within what you make. Young people in St. Kitts and Nevis are going off the air now. We won't be calling back no radio station for the year. Please understand that if you work for a certain amount of money and you save something out of it, God will help you to prosper down the road when things improve. Do not live your life becoming dependent on government or anyone else. Work hard to achieve what you want. I had 26 things to say, but I think about people.
You can call back in later, man.
Thanks to Mark Brantley for the support that CCM will give from time to time and continue to give to the government side. And tomorrow I'm looking forward. I hope nobody views me out in my store, because I might have to close it, come home, put on some decent clothes, and go into Parliament and look at Mark Brantley face to face. I just want the people in Nevis to understand how much I love them, and I'm looking to see them prosper, both CCM and NRP. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll continue to listen. I wouldn't call back.
Thank you very much, my brother, and you have a wonderful night, and you have a good Christmas season and a bright and prosperous 2024 when it comes around. We appreciate you, and we always appreciate your input. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to On the Mark. I am Troy Liburd, your host for tonight, and we are having a great show. Of course, if you were on the line, I gave Mr. DuPont a good long run. Mr. DuPont is a good friend of mine and a good friend of the show, and somebody who always has a really good contribution to make. The lines are open. The numbers to call, 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700. Let's go back to the lines. We have a caller. Caller, you're on the mark.
Good night to you, Rebel Troy.
Good night, my brother. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm just listening to the politics, and, you know, this is my country. And first, I always want to thank God for this Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. A country we're born into, and a country we love. And will always love and try to do what I got to do as a simple-minded person. You understand? They ain't gonna come up and challenge the Bible and nothing but no Bible, nothing. Because we know that man is just human being, and man could destroy man. That's how the world going. The world going because of man. And we got to be very careful. Now, Troy, talking about the jury turmoil, right?
Mm-hmm.
We hear this in different administrations. Under NRP, we hear it under CCM, and we hear it through different government in the federation, in the federal parliament, and talking about it. And if anything like that work out that way, I believe that is a good thing to the country, to the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. Because I made to understand he had discussion about the jury turmoil all in when the unity was there.
Yes.
And the Nevis administration got $8 million
Mm-hmm.
to whatever company was coming in to develop or whatsoever.
Yes. To do
But
some
when I listen to the
exploratory
community,
wells.
it seemed to me like that nothing from the former prime minister was engaged with no zero turmoil, nothing. Come like the former prime minister, like he shut it aside and tell him, shut it aside, man. How he talk, eh? And we got to listen to these politicians careful.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we listen to them, they will just brainwash us. Just look how the master in slavery time, brainwash our foreparents.
I don't think these are those times, brother. These times everybody has access to knowledge.
Got us how we be now, right now, still continuing to talk about master, and all those things. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So anything like that, due turmoil between St. Kitts and Nevis, and it going to benefit the Federation. But I believe that we should jump for joy.
Yes.
Or get out of the fast of fuel.
Definitely.
And go to jury turmoil, because Nevis got the natural hot water, the natural sources that come up there. Bathe sometime in the hot water bath.
Mm-hmm.
But they ain't good me, eh? The doctor tell me must keep out right. Go back.
Whenever I got aches and pains, I go in there and it works well for me.
No, because the reason why I lose my cartilage in my joint.
Okay.
In my knee. And he said that wouldn't be no help to me. Or the new replacement exercise my body and to help build back my muscles and so. I will got to take a new replacement because plenty money. You know, because I'm a hard worker. I work hard in the country. Raise animal, play football, play cricket, do all kind of thing. And he tell me from them time to time that you join them get, you know, work and do all kind of thing. Sometimes they work out and I got a bullet too.
Mm-hmm.
So, brother Troy,
Mm-hmm.
listen me now, I love my country. And any government get in there positively and do what the people really want. Because right now, we suffer with farming under different administration. Because after the sugar industry closing about the charge, I just now got a discussion. I called in and about it, right? And I said the same thing. After the sugar industry closed 1995,
I think it's somewhere about there.
I believe that we should not get this kind of discussion about farming. You understand? If the leaders who we elect is ready to really uplift the people. You understand? Let me say that I love my country and I'm not really in the politics no more. No.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was a strong unity supporter.
I think we both were strong unity supporters. That is something that we have in common.
When unity is destroyed, the supporters them aside, and whatever they end up into, and next administration, the Labour administration take over, and I respect the government in. I respect them
Mm-hmm.
because the people elect them, and I don't care what people say about whatever. People abuse me about my Labour man and all kind of thing. But if my Labour man, this is my country. Labour sings it. all of them things lyrics. So try to say these words, you know, that I'm very passionate about seeing my people uplift, especially in agriculture. Because I always believe when the sugar industry closed, that was the main thing. Because agriculture was supposed to be our main industry, not tourism. Because tourism, you see what the COVID do with us? So you see what the COVID do with us?
Yes.
But you see, when we let the politicians play with their mind and just, you know, we just, make this balance in my life, better to make balance in my life. I never change to nobody. I never change to nothing. I never change to that. You know, if I remain all of us a politician, a new party, any party get in there and they're doing the well for the country. Just like 1990, just like 2010, 2004, when Mr. Lindsey Grant come and say that when if the sugar industry got to close under his leadership, he will give land and money to the sugar workers and the people who work in the industry. You understand? But I try if I get that to get back, I want give somebody a chance because I'm really passionate about my country. I love my country and I want to see the government do well. I don't want to lie and deceitfulness and try to mislead our people. We pass the stage. But I try. And you have a blessed night. And God bless the Federation and think it news again.
Okay. Thank you very much, my brother. And of course, this federation is ours and we have to love it. It will be what we make it. So we have to ensure that we are doing the best for the federation. And I love our motto, you know, country above self. Do we have another caller on the line? No more callers. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, you're listening to On The Mark. The lines are open, 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700. So in the meantime and between time, until we get a call, I want to follow up on, you know, what the gentleman was just saying about love of country. Well, we have a caller, so I'll put that on hold and I'll take the call. I want to take as many calls as I can take tonight. It's our last show for the year, and so I want to hear from everybody. Caller, you're on the mark. Good night.
Good night, my dear family, Troy.
Good night. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
I heard you talking about Charlotte tonight. Thank you very much.
Oh, yes. Okay, I pick up the voice now.
Mortley.
How are you? Yes, I pick up the voice.
Yes. I heard this talking about him tonight, and thank you very much.
Yes. Certainly a big loss for all of us.
But then you say you don't know where the funeral is.
Oh, okay.
The funeral will be over by Elliot's funeral parlor.
And what time is the funeral?
2 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you very much for that.
Everybody asking why over by Blackie. I don't see nothing is wrong with Elliot's funeral parlor. Nothing definitely is wrong with over there. I find that people get very ungrateful. But thank you very much. I miss my brother. I love him, and I'm gonna miss him very much.
Okay, we're gonna all miss him. He was a really nice person.
He was a real good brother. He wasn't that bad. Everybody love him. But if his choice is supposed to be, his choice is supposed to be.
Yes.
And we are all family. Thank you very much.
Yes, no problem whatsoever.
Okay,
certainly my certainly I had to do that. I had to mention Charlotte.
Yes. You mentioned a lot of people, and thank you very much. But then I heard you say you don't know where it is, but it's over by Elliot's funeral parlor.
Okay,
nothing is wrong with over there. People get very ungrateful.
All right, I will try my best to be there too.
Yes, thank you, and I love you.
All right, I love you too.
Thank you.
And enjoy your Christmas when it comes, and
yes,
2024. I know I will see you before that though.
Yes, I will see you before that. I miss my brother. I love him very much. I'm gonna miss him dearly.
All right, you have a wonderful night.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to On The Mark. You see, it's here in Nevis. We are one small community, and certainly We should all be our brother's keeper, our sister's keeper, and we should all be looking out for one another. And once we do these things, then our country will continue to move forward. Once there is love, once we care for one another, then we would be making the decisions that are not just in our own best interests, but are in the best interests of our brothers and sisters. You see, if you love people and you care about people and you have a heart for people, then you're going to make decisions that are people-centric. And that is one of the reasons why when I got the opportunity and I was called to serve, it wasn't something that I was out there jockeying for. I know a lot of people just jockey and want to get into politics and want to get into government and so on. It was not something that I was out there jockeying for. But when the opportunity came for me to serve, I was happy to accept the opportunity to serve, and I've been doing that for 10 years now. And it has been a wonderful experience. Me being here on the Mark, I've met so many people through on the Mark. I mean, I have met people who came into Nevis on vacation, who came in for culture, who came in for various things. And I'm only in town, never seen the person. And I only say maybe hello to somebody or hi. And they say, oh, I know you. You're the voice from on the Mark. You are Troy Liburd. And I get to know them and we become friends just like that. So, a small community like Nevis, we can certainly do a lot. We can certainly do a lot if we are our brother's keeper, if we show love for one another, and if we just try to do our best. Not with a heart of bad mind, not with a heart of trying to do wrong to people, not coming with ill intentions. We should come with intentions that look out for the best interests of all the people. That's what serving people is about. That's what being a good servant is all about, and that's what I think my government is about. I'm glad, being a part of the CCM. I'm glad being a part of this government. Certainly, we are a group of people who really care about people. You see people like Mark Brantley and Spencer Brand and Eric Evelyn and those guys really care about people. I mean, you don't see anybody in CCM walking around and as people would say, trampling on people and walking over people or pushing around power like that. Nevis is not a place where people feel hostility. Prior to CCM getting in government, there was a lot of hostility. The politics was very rough, was very hostile. People used to flaunt their power and flaunt their politics at people. And we have not done that. We have remained humble. We have remained focused. And we know that it is all about doing the work for the people. Love of country is very important. Putting country above self is very important. And I think if we do these things, then Nevis will continue to be the type of society that it is. Here in St. Kitts and Nevis, we became independent in 1983. September 1983. We lowered the Union Jack. There's a video about it. You can see the video online. We lowered the Union Jack and we raised our St. Kitts Nevis flag. And we became a country. We became an independent country. And in those 40 years, we have come a very, very long way. I heard the Prime Minister in his budget speech today speak about persons working in the sugar industry over on St. Kitts. And I don't have too much experiences about the sugar industry. So when I heard it, I thought about it and I said, we have really come a long way in this federation. He spoke about persons in the sugar industry in the slow time that they only used to get 1 day of work per week. 1 day per week, and they were only making a salary of something like I think it's $12 or $25 per day, something like that, $25 per day. So let's say it's $25 per day, and you only got 1 day out of the week. You only had $25 to look after your children. If you had 2 children, you had to pay for, whatever you had to pay for, buy food and so on. And that is where we are coming from in the 80s and 90s to where we are now. We enjoy steady electricity here on Nevis for the most part. Electricity is very dependable, hardly goes off. We enjoy steady water here on Nevis. Almost every household here on the island of Nevis has water. And sometimes when the water goes off for a couple hours, we make a lot of noise about it, because these are things that we take for granted. 20 years ago, most households in Nevis probably didn't have, well, not 20 years ago, but 30 or 40 years ago, certainly, when we came into independence, most homes didn't have water inside the home. Something that we take for granted now. And the water is extremely cheap. $13 per 1,000 gallons. And I think in our budget this year, the Minister of Works and the Minister of Water, the Honorable Spencer Brand, would have said that we are doing a little increase. And some persons out there in the opposition already started to run with it before Spencer actually came out and said how the increase will go. But when it was explained in the House, we realized that for the ordinary man, for 70 or 80% of the population, there will be no increase at all. Actually, what we are doing is a measure to try to get people to conserve water. So for the first 2,000 gallons that you use, the price remains the same. So most persons, most individuals out there would not see any increase at all in their water rate, because if you are not somebody who is using an excessive amount of water monthly, you're not going to see any increase in the water rate. What we are trying to cut down is on the persons who would go to the shower and turn on the shower and would stay there on the phone for half an hour with the shower running, having a nice conversation. Or you turn on the shower and you're in the mirror doing your prep things before you get into the shower, and then when you get into the shower, you run the shower again for another half an hour. We are trying to cut down on these excesses. And here in Nevis, we have to understand that water is a very precious commodity. And so the government now, through these increases, we are trying to promote conservation of water, because water is a very, very precious resource. Very precious. We might take these things for granted. Excuse me. We might take these things for granted here on the island of Nevis because we have it in abundance. But in some of our neighboring islands, in some of the islands just close to us, in places such as Barbados, in places such as Antigua, in places such as Anguilla, they don't have the luxury that we have. And the water rates in those places are significantly higher than what they are here in the Federation. So we should not take the privileges that we have, or the good things that we have, for granted, ladies and gentlemen. And these are the things that the government, we are trying to instill in our people. Don't take the good things that we have for granted. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to On The Mark. The lines are still open. Of course, I'm going to welcome as many calls as we can get. Do we have another caller? Yes, we have a caller. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're on the mark. Good night.
Good evening, Troy. How are you doing?
Yes, good evening, my brother. How are you? I'm wonderful.
I am doing pretty good. Yes, I'm just calling in. Just wanted to call in to share a few points. First of all, I just wanted to reflect on the fact that, Troy, it's just been about 1 year since the CCM party was returned to government. And I just want to say thanks again once again to the people of my constituency, and thanks to the people of Nevis generally for making the absolute best decision. Because of course we know, Troy, this is the party that looks out for Nevis and Nevisians and the residents, right?
Definitely.
The year has gone by very quickly, and I also want to say thanks to the Premier for leading so well, not only leading the party, but leading the government so very, very well. And of course, I want to say thanks to all of my cabinet members for, I think we are an excellent team. We have worked very well together. I think that this has been a year that quite a lot has been achieved. Of course, the year would have come with its challenges, but I think we would have achieved quite a lot. And it would have been evident in our presentations we had in the Nevis Island Assembly last week, when all of us spoke. I think all of us gave a good account of the achievement in our various ministries over the past year. And I think the people of Nevis and those all who were listening and all who were viewing could attest to the fact that yes, we did have our challenges, but we achieved a whole lot. Of course, the island, I think we are bouncing back well from the COVID-19 pandemic. And I think, as I said, I think it was a year in which we achieved quite a bit. And I think we should be proud, and the people of Nevis should be proud. We are always doing this under limited resources, but I think we have managed well. The Premier has led well. The Cabinet the administration has done an excellent job in managing the affairs of
Definitely.
the little resources that we have. And I think that we should get a very high passing grade. Very, very high passing. So I want to thank the people of Nevis for sticking with the CCM party, and this is the party you should always stick with. I also, as we're closing out 2023, Troy, I also want to say a very big thank you to my staff within my ministry, those in my ministry, those in my various departments, and so on. I really want to say that they welcomed me with open arms. It's a new ministry to me. The first 5 years I was at a different ministry, but in this ministry that I came into in last year in December, I was welcomed with open arms. The folks have worked well with me. I've worked well with them, and I think we have achieved what to achieve together. So we have to stick to each other. We have to stick with each other, and we have to continue to work together. We have to continue to be committed to the task at hand. And whatever gains we would have made in 2023, I think there's a lot more that we can achieve next year and in the years ahead. But we have to continue to work together. We have to stay focused, stick to the plan, and I think that people of Nevis will be the beneficiaries of not only the achievements in my ministry, but all of the ministries and CCM administration and a whole. I think we can be proud of what happened over the last year. A lot of achievements, and I think we should all take a bow, and the people of Nevis should be very, very proud. So I want, as well as we getting ready for the season, I want us to continue to try to patronize local, try to buy local. I know that the Department of Agriculture, we normally have stuff every week to sell. So continue to buy local. Of course, the local products are the better products. They taste better. They are more nutritious, and the quality far exceeds what you can get from overseas. You can't go wrong with sticking with the local products. So I'm asking our people to continue to stick to the local products. I believe that if you go to the abattoir, you might still, I know even if you didn't put in any orders, you might still be able to get hams, local hams there. So don't be afraid to show up, even if you didn't put in an order. There might be some extras there that you might be able to purchase. So continue to patronize the abattoir, the agro processing center, the Lawrence Harry Depot, the fisheries complex in Charlestown. Just let us buy and eat as much local as possible. I want us all as well. Whatever we do during this season, do it in moderation. A lot of the time, sometimes we tend to overdo, and we should not try to overdo for this season or any other time. I want us all to do it in moderation. If you're partying, do it in moderation. If you're going to drink, do it in moderation. If you're going to eat, do it in moderation. And of course, let us all remember our neighbors, our family, our friends. There are some persons who are not as fortunate as us. So when we are eating our Christmas dinner, our Christmas lunch, let us remember who may not have, and let us share. This is a season of love. This is a season of giving. And let us all, as I said, whatever we do, do it in moderation. I want to say, especially to our drivers, please be very careful on the road. You have a very caring government who has given you excellent roads and excellent road network. But please, I know we might be tempted with the excellent roads that we have, but when you're partying for the Christmas, be moderate on the drink, be moderate on your driving, and let us all try as much as possible.
I think we should encourage people that if they're going to drink, to get a designated driver.
You're probably correct.
Maybe go line with me, because I'm not going to drink anything. So
I know you won't be drinking anything. So if you feel like, because some person would have worked hard for a year, and they feel, well, listen, this is a time when I can just let my hair down and party. Of course, you can do that. But if you know you're going to drink a lot, get somebody to drive. Get a carpool. You can leave your vehicle home and go with someone else. You know, but we don't want any accidents on the road for the season coming up. So please let us be very, very careful on our roads. You know, and before I go as well, I want to just reach out and touch Veronica Brandy on Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Extend heartfelt condolences to her. It's a difficult time for her at this time, the loss of her son, and all who else who are mourning at this time. I know it is a hard time to be mourning, you know, but I just wanted to reach out to that family and to all who are mourning at this time. And I would have
Mertlin just called in.
Pardon me?
Mertlin just called in about Charlo.
Oh, yes, brother. And Charlo as well.
Yes.
There are a lot of persons who are mourning. I want to say reach out to Mertlin and Genty and Leon and all the entire family there as well. And my heartfelt condolences to you as well, and all who are mourning at this time. You know, Mertlin and the rest of the family, unfortunately, they won't be able to attend the funeral tomorrow. I'm in St. Kitts. I'm on national duty at the budget debate, so I'm going to miss the funeral tomorrow. But fortunately, I was able to see Charlotte in the hospital many times, so I would have done my bit. So all one morning, I know it's a difficult time. It's Christmas time. People want to be happy, but this is a time when some people are in mourning. So we show solidarity with all of you as well. And I just want to take this opportunity to join on behalf of myself, all of my constituents, all of my family members, to wish all divisions, residents, those at home, those in the diaspora, the very, very best for the season. I hope it will be a joyous season for everyone, and I trust and hope that 2024 will bring a lot of good health and prosperity and blessings galore for all of us and for Nevis in general. Let us continue to stick together. Let us continue to love Nevis. Let us continue to love each other. Let us not just love at Christmas time, but let us do it year-round. Every day should be Christmas when it comes to love and sharing and giving and togetherness. And so Troy, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And once again to all the very, very, very best for this season and the new year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And of course, I want to wish you the very best on your presentation in the Parliament. And of course, wish you a very good Christmas when it comes, and a bright and prosperous New Year, Eric. And of course, to let you know that I value you. Certainly, we value your contribution to Nevis, because you have not just been contributing to politics, you have been contributing all your life. I think is one thing people will always say about Eric Evelyn. You're a people person. You know, Eric?
I try my best.
You are known by
So
your
that's
works.
what I live for. I live for people.
You are known by your works.
Yes, sir.
And so I just want to let you know that I certainly appreciate all the work that you do and so on. You have a good night, Eric. Thanks for calling.
Have a good night. Thank you. All right,
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a half an hour left to go. This is our final show for 2023. You've heard from the Honorable Mark Brantley earlier. You heard from the Honorable Eric Evelyn. Those are the other two hosts of the show. Of course, when Mark cannot make it to the show, it's either myself or Eric. We normally come on and fill the duties. So that's the On the Mark family. Of course, in the past, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers has come. He has his own show now on a Friday at about midday. And so that's how the world works, you know. We evolve as we go along. But of course, you know, that the powerhouse Van Radio always remains constant. So I want to thank Eric, of course, for calling in. The lines remain open. Numbers to call 869-469-1616 or 1700. We have a caller. Let's go back to the line.
Good night, Troy. How are you doing?
I am wonderful.
Lord, I happened to have been your first caller. They say the thing was open. The line
Oh, it wasn't opening
yet.
yet. Yeah, I was talking. How are you? Good to hear from you.
Yeah, man. Remember all the good times.
Yes,
The good times
yes,
still rolling,
yes.
you know.
Half of what I know about talking and radio, I learn it from you.
But that's supposed to inspire each other, you know. When people talk
Yes,
about facts and stats,
Yes, definitely. And you know the way
anybody could say anything.
the way how you always look at stats and always know the places to go to get the stats. I mean,
I would hate to take all of this knowledge to the grave.
yes, I must say, you know, people in Nevis does say that I always have the numbers and so on.
Yeah,
and,
you can
and
have that proper discussion.
when I go to the house, I'm always talking about the auditors' reports and so on.
Practices.
But you are the person who I learn those things from, you know, about the auditor's report and all those things.
That's all I tell people, you know.
From spending time on the radio with
they
you.
call me when people start to pump out information that I know inside go. I think I am duty bound for my loyal service,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just to try to enlighten, not to embarrass anybody also. But sometimes people really don't know, and they make assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I call first to send some greetings over to Nevis, the home of my father's mother and my mother's father. My father was a freeman who married to a Jeffers. So all of the freemen up in Rollins who I don't know. I know the same kids set, eh? So all of my freeman family. And then you go down to Bat Village where the Payne, all the descendants of Antibody Payne. That was my grandmother's first cousin. George Payne, Austin Payne, Joe Payne, and all of those are Gertrude, Miss Seaton. I used to stay with Gertrude, Potamin. So all of my relatives up there, and my brother Yampy had two sons up there, Jevon and Bevan. Season greetings, Miss Jimmy. Season greetings. You know, I listen to let me tell Mark, please, don't compete. That is a poor delivery, you know. Because you see, the attention span is not so long. We have to bear in mind, eh? Because I like to listen to debate, and I slept 2 hours into that thing. You understand?
I think what most persons listen for was the ending.
Just as Mr. France used to say, when a speech is short and proper, it's a good one. You know that one? You ever heard that?
No, I never heard that one.
People that say he go up to the high school to give the speech there. Grammar school?
Mm-hmm.
And now he say, when a speech is short and proper, is a good one. So, Mark Brantley, when a speech is short and proper, is a good one. You lose people along the way. Who could listen to it, not even a sermon in church? 5 hours and something minutes? Whoever wrote that speech, they did a very poor job. And Dr. Joe, don't try it again. It doesn't make sense. Because people miss out a lot of the important things. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of what you said was relevant, but you took too long. So if you ask some people why you're here, they were only listening for the end part.
Mm-hmm.
What we're going to get. And I slept through some of it. I missed it. So I'm still waiting for some clarification on the matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as to what we're actually going to get, how it is going to be done, the one with the investment, when will they activate it, the one with the pension. But I've been telling them on a really long time, the thing passed since 2011.
Yes, it was.
2011, anybody who joined the service after that supposed to retire at 62. And those who came in before, with 2011, they got the age 55.
Mm-hmm.
So when you ignore that now, and some people in there 61, you can say, well, all of you who come in, so pack your bag. And the contributing, do you know how much the government would have earned if they had instituted the contribution to the pension scheme? Because along with that, they will also have to, the Social Security has to be raised.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 going on there, and then maybe a next 3 going on there. You know? We must do things systematically. I, for one, was saying I don't think you should give the double, because I was looking at the World Economic Report,
Mm-hmm.
the forecast for 2024. I was saying you must do things bearing those things in mind. And is it that it has to be? Does it have to be the leader of the opposition who speak first, or anyone on that side who gets it first?
It's the leader of the opposition who is supposed to do the response. But
the speaker suggested, she said, the first person from the opposition side who gets up speak.
yes, it can be that way. I think, you know.
Yeah, but she did not say the leader of the opposition.
It's customary that it's customary that it is the leader of the
because
opposition.
I mean, as it stands, there are actually 3 different opposition sets over there.
Yes, there are 3 different parties on the opposition.
You know, so I was wondering if they sort out who will speak first.
I guess they would have to figure that out.
Because if Mr. Harris gets up first, he will have to be allowed to speak.
Yes, the speaker will recognize who gets up first.
You know, so Godwin Brown down at Sheriff and his family.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Freeman and the Blind and Light Society. Dr. Liburd, Glenville Liburd.
Mm-hmm.
He has been doing a good job with the person with disability. All the disabled people in Nevis and in St. Kitts, season greetings, and try to take care of yourself.
Thank you. I tried
and
to.
don't allow this one. Having had previous experience, CCM must be careful not to allow itself to be absorbed into the Labour Party.
Well, how would CCM be absorbed into the Labour Party? CCM is a party.
They must allow themselves to be absorbed. I don't say you cannot cooperate, you know. Yeah, because you've had a bad experience. You understand? People are supposed to learn.
But I want people to understand.
This one, nothing is written now, you know. There's
no,
obvious open collaboration.
I want people to understand. I want people to understand that CCM will cooperate.
Yeah,
when it is in the best interests of the people of Nevis, because that is what we are about.
Yeah, but but you still can remember what you see. We had it written down. Nothing is written.
Yes, but that was when we were
that is just my opinion.
We were in an actual collaboration at that point in time. You know?
I've been watching it. Sometimes unwittingly, you know, we get absorbed. You agree with this and you agree with that. And next thing, just say, oh, well, everything, no.
No. It doesn't.
You understand?
Work like
so
that.
I am waiting to hear his response. Because as the leader of the opposition, his position is not there to corroborate.
No. We will call a spade a spade.
That's not his position, you know, not to corroborate. He can compliment.
Okay, Sylvain, we will call a spade a spade. That is what we will do.
So
if it is good, we will say it is good.
Mark Brantley, Honorable Mark Brantley, when a speech is short and proper, is a good one. That is a statement by a Mount Lily man, one of our national heroes. All of you politicians who plan to speak tomorrow, when a speech is short and proper, is a good one. So good night.
Thank you very much.
Greetings. God bless. Thank God for what He has done for us. He has really shown us mercy, you know. And may He continue to do so into 2024. And may our people try to be more productive and more loyal to their country. Do whatever we can to build it up, not to tear it down. God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Sylvine, and God bless you. It's always good to hear from the one and only Sylvine Henry. Sylvine and I had some good times on another radio station doing another radio show that we used to do regularly, and I've certainly learned a lot from her. She's a very knowledgeable person and knows where to find information. And Sylvine, I want you to know, rest assured that the Concerned Citizens Movement, that we are there to look out for the best interests of the people of Nevis, and of course, when things are good for the people of the entire federation, we of course will support it. But of course we know that our base is here in Nevis, so we want to ensure that we look out for our people. We know that when the people of Nevis send CCM to the federal parliament, that the people go to represent who have sent them, and that's the people of Nevis, and we always have that in mind. So when it comes to anything in the federal parliament, we will call a spade a spade. Of course, we are the government here on Nevis, and Labour finds itself being the government over on St. Kitts, or the federal government, and therefore it is in our interest to work with them. And so we are doing that in as much as it is beneficial for the people of Nevis and beneficial for the people of the federation. But there's no subsuming or anything like that that's going to happen. CCM is a party that stands on its own feet. CCM is a party that stands for the people of Nevis. We are blue, we are the big blue machine, and we are always ready. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to On The Mark. Where has the time gone? I think we have just about 17 minutes more. I will keep the lines open and try to take as many calls as we can take, because of course this is our last show for 2023. These are our last opportunities to call in to, you know, say what we want to say to all of the people out there in radio land, those who are following on YouTube, on Facebook. I see quite the dialogue happening on Facebook. I was just in on the Facebook, and they have quite the chat going on. I might join in a bit later. Of course, the numbers to call, 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700. We have a caller on the line. Caller, you're on the mark. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Liburd.
Good night. How are you?
Good, good. This is Jennifer Freeman.
Yes, I know the
from
voice.
Nevis Blind, Light and Visually Impaired Society. So I would like to make a statement, please. May I?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. All persons who usually receive envelopes from Nevis Blind, Light and Visually Impaired Society via the Nevis Cooperative Credit Union, please go to Miss Scarborough from tomorrow, God willing, that you can have them before Christmas. And persons otherwise will get to you. We usually have persons who help to distribute envelopes. I would like to say thanks to the Evelyn drugstore. I haven't done this for a while, but persons go there and they put in their dimes, quartz, whatever they have, soft offerings, and we are grateful. We want to be grateful to also to the persons who really rallied around us with our concert. That's our first concert after 3 years, and persons have been donating, and persons did turn out to the concert despite the weather, and we are thankful. The lunch for donations, whatever your donations were, we are grateful. I want to wish everyone a blessed Christmas and Happy New Year. Persons, don't forget, please collect your envelopes tomorrow from the credit union or whatever day is convenient to you. Once it's a work day, the bank closes at 2 o'clock. And then those who are in the district, as I said before, throughout the island, we have persons who usually help and take them out. Thank you, Mr. Liburd. You have a blessed Christmas as well.
You too. You have a wonderful Christmas and a good New Year when it comes around.
Yes.
Thank you very much, caller. Ladies and gentlemen, we are listening to On the Mark. Do we have another caller? We have another caller. Let's go back to the line. Caller, you're on the mark. Good night.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the mark.
Yes.
Could you turn your radio down and listen to me
Good night.
through the
Can
phone?
you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. I'm an ardent listener to this show. And by the way, it's a great show. It's a great show.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
It's a long time I have not called him. As a matter of fact, I have not called him for the year.
Okay, we appreciate your call now.
Yes. But I'm just calling in response to one thing, okay? A previous caller made in a statement with reference to CCM party being absorbed into the Labour Party. You see? For the like of me, I just can't understand. And that is what I get in from a lot of people. Because you are opposition, you must oppose everything. Simply because you name opposition. I believe that this should be this. Because in the premier response tomorrow, and
Caller, we're getting a feedback. Could you move away from the radio?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you much better now.
Yeah. The speaker in her closing remarks said that the Prime Minister spoke for 4 hours or 5 hours.
5 hours and 29 minutes.
So she was saying that the response from the other side, right? Well, everybody knows that the person who responded from the other side is the leader of the opposition, who is Premier Mark Brantley. So he got to respond. Now I know Mark Brantley, there's no need for him to talk for 5 hours and 24 minutes. To say what?
Exactly.
What he got to say, so, right? And in my opinion, what is there for him to oppose? Mark Brantley is about the development of Nevis.
Exactly.
And he's part of the federal government. And of such, the federal government is working with the Nevis Island administration. So you want to tell me, let's suppose that Nevis need a school, primary school in any one of the areas in Nevis, right? And the federal government know about it. And the Prime Minister called the Premier and he said, listen, the federal government will fund the building of that school. What the Premier is supposed to say? No. I am opposition. No. We want you to build a school because I am opposition. That's what he's supposed to say?
Well, I'm actually the Minister of Education, and certainly we have some schools in Nevis that could do with repair and could do with upgrade. So I'll be happy if somebody from the federal government could call and say they're sending over some money to do that. So maybe if they're listening to the show, you know, that they could, and there's some money, they could send over some money. Sure, we would be happy for that.
What I am saying, should the Nevis Island administration, because the Premier of Nevis is the leader of the opposition, should he say, should he think in his mind, no, I am opposition, so I don't want the money?
Well, Carla, what I'll tell you is this. I know the Premier, I know the Honorable Mark Brantley, and I know he will go and he will call a spade a spade. What he see is good, he will say that it's good, and if he sees something that is not so good, he will say it's not so good. And that is how he is going to operate, because that is who he is. That is who we are. That is who we are as a party. That is CCM. We are going to call it straight how we see it.
Exactly, but not oppose for oppose sake. Not oppose for oppose sake. So this term here does not fit well with me about absorbed. What do you call me by absorbed? absorbed into the Labour Party.
Well, I guess the caller said, she made a comment, but we know that that is not going to happen. So I am not going to belabor that point. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because it's not something that's going to happen.
But that's how the start. I ain't trying to cause confusion, But I had to call in response to that. Like I say, I'm an ardent listener. I've been listening to this show for years, man.
We appreciate that.
And I'm sure you probably that's the first time you would have heard my voice.
Yes, actually. Yes.
Okay, so that's my opinion on that. You oppose when there's something to oppose.
Yes, we both agree on this.
And when there's nothing to oppose, there's no need to oppose.
We can all celebrate good things.
Yeah.
And when things are not so good, we can talk about it.
Thank you for your time and wonderful budget laid down in the House of Parliament today by Dr. the Prime Minister of the Federation.
Okay, I appreciate.
Thank you so much for your time.
I appreciate your call, sir. You have a wonderful night.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just about 10 minutes more. We have time to take about maybe 2-3 calls. If there are callers on the line. Do we have another caller on the line? Yes, let's go back to the line. Caller, you're on the mark. Good night. Hello, caller, you're on the mark. Good night.
Good night again.
Yes, my brother, how are you?
Well, but here listening, and I'm listening well. No, but what happened, right? That last caller, right? He should know how the politics go. I don't know if he just come in to think with me with some live. Because when government go out and the opposition get in, they criticize and they say that the government was in, they ain't do nothing. And I hear repeatedly all the time that for 7 years, that the unity government ain't do nothing. That's why it's trying, I'm kind of backing back from the politics, learning it good, listening it, but calling and discuss it, I have no much interest in.
Carla, what I will say is people will talk according to what suit their purpose. Okay? So if it suit their purpose to say one thing at one time, they'll say it. And if it suit their purpose to say another thing at another time, they won't say it. It takes people of a certain character.
Yes.
Right? Carla, who will call things when something is right, they call it right. And when it's wrong, they call it wrong. Regardless. And that is how I am. Certainly that is how the Honorable Mark Brantley is. Certainly that is how we in the Concerned Citizens Movement,
and I
how
believe
we conduct
that
ourselves.
When we as politicians, right, them as politicians, we elect them, they go in and let people know the truth. We are all a critician and division. We are all one. Regardless of what party you affiliate yourself with. Our party, you is the Prime Minister, you is the government as a minister of government with. We must call a spade a spade. When something has done good, just say something done good. The farmer government has do this, but something a little bit. Again, we know the politics, right?
Government is a continuum. Some governments do good things. Some governments come and they continue on it. Some governments change things. It's a continuum.
But Mark, I think you should stop, because when you're going to tell a lie in front of the whole country, and the people in the diaspora listening to these things, and then things happen, it backfires to the country. Remember, we got to guard about, see and listening us and know what's going on, try.
Of course.
Yeah, we got a lot about listening us and seeing us going on, and try to deceive people. And people know better. And because of the political ignorance.
So why you say happening? People say that nothing good happened over the last 5 years. But that is not true. Lots of good things happen.
That is why how the world going, how we going, But try, let me tell you something again, right? You see the CCM party? I believe that the people of Nevis love the CCM.
Yes, and CCM love the people of
Nevis.
Nevis.
The reason for that? I listen to different talk shows. They got the NRP and a station called Vision Radio.
Oh, I don't know it.
And I listen, sometimes I listen to it, but they don't call out the numbers because I don't hear the number who make a contribution also upon it.
Oh.
And try very seldomly anybody calling and say anything to oppose the CCM. Very seldomly. Somebody calling might be one or two. And on the mark, very seldomly, any individual calling and oppose the government of CCM.
People know good when they see it, you know. You don't see over on the other side, it's pure confusion.
The people of Nevis pleased with the CCM. You understand? I ain't gonna be biased. I don't want to let this phone nothing. They are pleased with what's going on in Nevis under the leadership of Mark Brantley, the CCM. And if it's that, I will in the tactical. I live Nevis. I really know what's going on here. And the people of Nevis now got to come out and say what's going on and criticize the system and say why about the system. But as far as I'm concerned, that with the weak leadership of the NRP and the disturbance there right now, with two leaders want to be the leader. I believe that the system will continue to lead Nevis if the next election comes, because NRP got to get it right. And I believe this thing, Daily and the others, them got to talk and stop focus on cuss Mark, abuse Mark. You know, just cussing, talk about Mark, this Mark, that Mark. Don't strengthen the man. You know? Come positive, brother. You know? If there's to call, if there's to get the number, so I'm going to call you and tell them the same thing, Man, and listen, I got to forget about, sometimes I got to forget about the Mark and the Premier Nevis. Right? Let the people them call in and say what they got to say about Mark and leadership. Not are you there a challenge and attack at your position. Try to get all your party together and try to get all your priority straight. Not calling Mark.
Okay, Carla, but Carla, we only have about a minute left, so we're gonna have to leave it there.
Okay, but I try. I want to wish you all the best. Wish the people of Nevis all the best and wish them a happy Christmas when they come. And a most prosperous New Year. And I want to see this country light up. And I want to see the federal government run the country that the way it's supposed to run. I hear some things and the way it's on all right. You know? But I just hope that everything work out for the people of the Federation under the banner of CCM and the leadership of Labour, the Dr. Joe Labour Party. Brother Charles, you have a wonderful day and God bless Nevis and sing it.
Thank you very much, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to On The Mark. Do we have another caller? If you have another caller, I'll take it. Okay, no more callers. That's it for the night. We have about 2 minutes more, and I want to take the 2 minutes, of course, to thank everybody who has listened to On The Mark for 2023. Of course, this show would not be what it is if you guys did not tune in and listen, if you guys didn't call in and make the show the success that it is. On behalf of the Honorable Mark Brantley, on behalf of the Honorable Eric Evelyn and myself, I want to thank everybody who normally comes in and tune into the show. I want to wish everybody, you know, a very good Christmas. For those who are going to be a part of Carnival, I want you all to be safe. Don't drink in excess. If you're going to be driving on the roads, remember, don't drink and drive. If you're going to be going out to party, ensure that you have somebody with you who's a designated driver, somebody who is going to be sober. Please be safe out there on the roads. For all of you who are going to be, you know, involved in the partying over the Christmas season, for those of you who are going to have a, you know, a more Christ-filled Christmas, a calm Christmas, I want to wish you the very best for the Christmas. Of course, I want to thank all of those persons who, you know, have contributed in any way to my success over this year. I want to thank all those people who I work with, my permanent secretary, P.S. Barrett, who is now with HR, permanent secretary Claxon, all of the other persons in my ministry who have been working very, very close. I really appreciate the hard work that you all put in. I want to wish family and friends and the whole of Nevis and the entire federation as a whole, those in the diaspora and those here at home, a blessed Christmas and a great 2024 when it comes around, from all of us here at On The Mark. Ladies and gentlemen, the show is going to be replayed tomorrow at 1. This was our final show for the year, so all the best going forward. Thank you very much.
The views and opinions expressed on the preceding program were solely those of the participants